Matt Armstrong has rebuilt one of the most complex hypercars on the planet. He has found cross-reference parts that saved tens of thousands of pounds. He has solved problems that Bugatti quoted £20,000 to fix. But he has also made mistakes, 3 specific ones, each admitted openly on camera. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what those mistakes were: the wrong part he ordered and used without realizing it, the fix he attempted that failed completely, and the diagnosis he got wrong that cost him an entire night of unnecessary work. I'll also explain why these mistakes actually make Matt's content more credible than any polished automotive show could ever be, and why the third mistake, the smallest of the 3, is the most revealing of all. Before we get into it, context matters. Matt Armstrong is not a Bugatti factory technician. He has never received official training on these vehicles. He doesn't have access to proprietary diagnostic systems, factory wiring diagrams, or torque specifications for every component. What he has is mechanical knowledge built over years on supercars, a team that includes his father Tony, a mechanic with 4 decades of experience, and a network of specialists he calls on when needed. That combination has produced extraordinary results. The Veyron service completed for £1,193 instead of £20,000. A Chiron rebuild that Bugatti said was impossible. But it has also produced mistakes, because hands-on independent work on complex vehicles inevitably does. The 3 mistakes I'm about to describe are not character flaws. They are not signs of incompetence. They are exactly what you would expect from anyone attempting work this complex without the manufacturer's support. The Bugatti Veyron uses a proprietary front differential unit called the Huldux. It requires a very specific fluid to function correctly. In a previous video, Matt ordered what he believed was the right oil based on the part number, Huldux 101172. When the container arrived, he filled the unit and moved on. In a later video, he returned to address feedback from viewers who had spotted something he had missed. The oil he had used was labeled in German. Both containers said Huldux on the outside. Both looked similar, but one was a product called Lingerstar, and only one was the actual Huldux specification. He had filled the front differential with the wrong fluid. His response on camera: easy mistake to make, but thankfully rectified before we even took the car for a drive. The fix involved draining the incorrect fluid, replacing the filter, and syringing in the correct specification. The unit holds just 500 milliliters. Here is what this mistake reveals. A Bugatti service center would have supplied the correct fluid automatically. The labels would have been in English. The supply chain would have been controlled. Matt is sourcing parts independently from international wholesalers with ambiguous descriptions. The error is understandable in that context, and it was only caught because Matt documents everything publicly and viewers were watching closely enough to flag it. A dealership technician might never have caught it at all, because there would have been no one watching. This one is more serious, because it involved a part Matt was confident would work, and it definitively did not. When the Veyron developed a misfire on cylinder 16, Matt needed to identify the cause. The original coil pack appeared to have failed. Bugatti does not sell coil packs directly. Sourcing one through an official service center means 23.5 hours of build labor time. Matt's research suggested Bentley Continental GT coil packs from the W12 engine were the correct cross-reference. His contact Birdie sourced one and drove down at 11 p.m. to deliver it. Matt fitted the Bentley coil to cylinder 14, easier access, and moved the original Bugatti coil to cylinder 16 where the misfire had been. The diagnostic logic was sound. If the misfire followed the Bentley coil to cylinder 14, the substitution wasn't working. If it stayed on cylinder 16, the original coil had failed. The misfire moved to cylinder 14. The Bentley coil pack did not function correctly in the Bugatti application. Matt had noticed the Bentley unit was missing some small rubber components during fitment but didn't consider them critical. They turned out to be critical. This matters beyond just one failed part substitution. Matt's entire approach to the Bugatti rebuild has been built on cross-referencing. Audi A3 airbags, Volkswagen Phaeton components, Honda Civic radiator cores. The success of the rebuild depends on those cross-references being accurate. This case shows they are not always. A part can share dimensions, mounting points, and electrical connections with the original and still fail in the target application because of subtle differences that only become apparent under real operating conditions. This was the first publicly documented case where Matt's cross-referencing methodology produced a wrong answer. His response was the right one: return to the original part, identify the actual root cause, learn from it. But what that root cause turned out to be brings us to mistake 3. When Matt reinstalled the original Bugatti coil pack after removing the Bentley unit, he noticed something. The Bentley coil had seated significantly further down onto the spark plug than the Bugatti coils he had fitted during the original service. The Bugatti coils were not fully seated. They had been pushed partially onto the plugs, but not all the way down. Matt sprayed silicone lubricant, pushed the original coil fully home, and tested the car. The misfire was gone. The cylinder 16 misfire he had spent an entire night diagnosing, sourcing a replacement part, calling in a favor from a contact willing to drive out at 11 p.m., had been caused by his own installation work from the previous service. Here is why this is significant beyond a single cylinder. Matt serviced all 16 coil packs during that earlier job. On camera, he acknowledged he wasn't certain how many others might be in the same condition. That is the kind of statement that reframes a lot of what has happened since the rebuild began. The Veyron has broken down repeatedly since that work was completed. Each breakdown has been attributed to some new component failure or quirk of an aging hypercar. But some of those breakdowns may not have been caused by failing parts. Some may have been caused by installation issues from earlier service work that only revealed themselves later under load. The car gets fixed, runs briefly, breaks down again. A new diagnosis is made, a new fix applied. The cycle continues. Some of that cycle may trace back to this. This is not a criticism of Matt's mechanical ability. It is a recognition of what happens when one person attempts to service every component of one of the most mechanically complex production cars ever built. The Bugatti factory assigns multiple technicians to each service, each one specializing in a specific system, each one checking the other's work. Matt is one person with one team, performing every operation himself or under his direct supervision. That produces transparency and dramatic cost savings. It also produces installation errors that compound quietly over time. The first was a part sourcing error, the kind any independent mechanic working without dealer support infrastructure could make. Caught, corrected, documented honestly. The second was a cross-referencing failure, the kind that reveals the limits of Matt's broader methodology. Cross-references work most of the time. Not always. And the failures are not always predictable from the specifications alone. The third was an installation error, the kind that suggests some of the Veyron's recurring problems since the rebuild have their origins in earlier service work, not just in the natural fragility of a 2-decade-old hypercar. None of this diminishes what Matt has achieved. The Chiron and Veyron builds remain extraordinary work performed by a small team without any manufacturer support. The cost savings are real. The technical ingenuity is real. But the pattern of breakdowns, viewed alongside these mistakes, deserves honest consideration. What makes Matt's channel worth watching is not that the builds go perfectly. It's that when they don't, the camera keeps running. The wrong oil gets acknowledged. The failed coil pack substitution gets documented. The installation error that caused the whole problem in the first place gets admitted on camera. Most independent workshops would quietly fix these things and never mention them. Matt shows you everything, including the parts that reflect badly. That transparency is exactly what makes the Bugatti rebuild worth following. Not the extraordinary results, but the honest record of what it actually takes to get there.